Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today I have for you a quick news update video here for the Call of Duty franchise. Not that there's really that much news to go over because, Season 3 is 9 days away now, and it's supposed to be like this massive update that's going to save the COD franchise and everything, at least in the eyes of Activision. They delayed the entire season like over a month or something like that. Like, they're really going all out, or at least it seems, with Season 3 to try to win back the player base. But the thing about it is, they're bringing back Verdansk, we all know about that, but has anybody heard anything about the Black Ops 6 multiplayer? They delayed the entire season. Season 3 is less than 10 days away. Do we know anything that's going on with the multiplayer? Like, I'm sure a roadmap's gonna be coming relatively soon, but over the course of the past couple of weeks, it's been nothing but breadcrumbs, essentially, and it's all just related to Warzone. And history is repeating itself here, because when Warzone initially came out back in Modern Warfare 2019, it seemed like there was a shift in the Call of Duty franchise, where it was no longer about the game's multiplayer, but rather it was about Warzone, and Season 3 kind of seems to be like that as well, because we know Verdansk is returning, of course, and here we have this video, which I apologize for the subtitles. I mean, the video itself has subtitles built into it, so it's always weird, like, you're trying to watch this video while I'm speaking, and what I'm saying is not what's showing up on the subtitles. It's freaking weird. Like, I understand that, but this is what they put out, and Verdansk itself, I will give them credit, looks pretty good. I'm one of those people where I always admire the art team in different video games, especially when it's made by actual people compared to AI, and here we have some comparison pictures of the original Verdansk versus what we've seen so far here from this trailer, and I will say they've done a pretty good job when it comes to that. It does look pretty good, but of course Verdansk is returning. There's going to be a return to Verdansk event with the launch of Season 3, but if history is any indicator, it might just be just like every other event we've had in Black Ops 6, where, we're running around collecting these Verdansk Archies, essentially, and at the very end, we get ourselves a blueprint. Like, hopefully they do something better with it. I think everybody is over the festive Archie idea. Like, it's not fun, it's not interesting, having the same event over and over. Just, I think people are tired of it, so hopefully they do something cool with that. They did announce that Double Everything is going to be starting on March 28th for the final weekend of Season 2, and then of course we have the Shattered Veil, which is going to be the new Zombies map coming out with Season 3. Now, I don't believe we know as of right now if it's going to be a launch map for Season 3 or if it's going to be more closer to Season 3 Reloaded. I have a feeling it's going to be closer towards Season 3 Reloaded because they don't want to take any attention away from Verdansk. That just seems to make sense, although every single day I see Mr. Raffle Waffles on Twitter just waiting for that trailer, but nothing has transpired as of right now. So, I mean, Season 3, based on what we know, you got Verdansk there, there's going to be an event, they're doing Double Everything to lead up to it. We know that the weapons from the original Warzone are going to be returning, such as the Grau, the HDR, the Kilo, and the AMAX. So there may be some of your weapons you might see in multiplayer, but it is very concerning that we're so close to Season 3 and we have not heard a peep when it comes to what's actually coming to the Black Ops 6 multiplayer. Like, sure, those Warzone weapons are returning, so presumably they'll be part of Black Ops 6, but like, just bringing back old weapons, while it is nice to have that nostalgia there and everything, especially for the people that loved Warzone, especially back in the day, it's still a bit bittersweet because these are weapons that we had before as compared to something new and original and fun coming out. So I can definitely see both sides of that. I suppose the big thing is I'm just wondering, are they doing anything with the multiplayer with this upcoming season, or if it's more or less just going to be a Warzone season and then Black Ops 6 is going to slowly fade into obscurity? Because let's face it, when you're at Season 3 already for the game, you're already on the back end of the game's life cycle, and it feels like Black Ops 6 has been out for like 5 years at this point. I don't know about you guys, but it just seems like this game's already been out for freaking ever. But historically, at least here in the COD franchise, the launch of the game is always going to be the biggest point for the game. Then Season 1's usually pretty big. Season 2 might be not as big, but kind of hyped up a little bit, right? Well, that hasn't really happened so far with Black Ops 6. We've gone over the player numbers countless times here in the channel. Like, just, it fell off a cliff pretty much immediately, and Activision being Activision, they may just start pulling support from Black Ops 6. Like, Zombies maps are going to keep coming out, I'm sure. Warzone's going to keep getting updated, but I would not be surprised whatsoever if we start seeing a severe lack of new weapons and new maps being added to Black Ops 6 outside of them remastering things. That's like their big ace in the hole, which we just talked about actually in a recent video. Instead of putting out anything new, they're just banking on nostalgia. So, Firing Range, I would not be surprised, is going to be part of this upcoming season, or maybe they bring back Jungle yet again, or Hijacked, or Summit. Like, I can definitely see them just going down that route where they just start throwing remastered guns and remastered maps at the game and basically just calling it good, because we do know for a fact that Treyarch themselves are the lead developers for Call of Duty 2025. So doing post-launch support for a game and trying to make sure this current game's as good as it could possibly be is a bit difficult when you're actively developing and creating the next Call of Duty title. That's why typically we always went Infinity Ward Treyarch. They then threw Sledgehammer into the mix, and that was supposed to give them even more time to make sure their games were polished. But for some reason, and I know I'm pessimistic at times, but I feel like you guys would agree with this, for some reason, when they went to the 3-year dev cycle as compared to the 2-year cycle we used to have with games like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. You know, for some reason, when they went to that 3-year dev cycle, the games had less polish, they had a lot more bugs, and a lot less features and content. Like, what happened there? You would think that if you have more time to make the game, it would be better at the very end, but just, I don't know, maybe having that sense of urgency is what made the original game so good. I'm not entirely sure, but I am curious to hear what you guys think about that down there in the comments. And to wrap up this little news update video here today, we're going to be covering one more story, because it appears that another team within Activision are going to be unionizing, and Microsoft is going to acknowledge it and start negotiations pretty much right away. Now look, I'm not going to sit here and say that I understand the ins and outs of working as a developer under Activision. Unlike most of my content creator colleagues, I don't even have a relationship with Activision, but it does seem like them unionizing gives more power to the developers themselves and lessens the stranglehold that Activision and Microsoft might have over them, because we all know what happened back when Activision just had free reign to do whatever they want, man. Those stories were freaking wild. Like, who remembers all the cube crawls, the stolen breast milk, the Bill Cosby room, for crying out loud? Like, some really heinous shit, right? And while they claim that's all been pretty much cleaned up, it does seem good to have the developers have more control over their own work life. And I know we poke tons of fun at Activision and even the developers themselves, because sometimes they just make the most mind-numbingly stupid decisions, but at the end of the day, most of the people working on COD are there to collect a paycheck, they're there to pay their rent, feed their families, and advance in their career, you know? The person, for example, who is working on the reload animations for Black Ops 6 is not the same person who created and is perpetuating skill-based matchmaking, just as an example, you know what I mean? So it seems like pretty good news there, and ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be pretty much it for the video here today. I apologize, it's a bit devoid of content because there's really nothing happening with the COD franchise right now. Like, the series is at an all-time low. We've covered that to death here on the channel, and Activision's plan to fix that is Season 3 in Verdansk, but they're not really hyping up Season 3 of Verdansk. We know nothing about what's happening on the multiplayer side of things. Like, it's just a barren wasteland as of late. But regardless, I still hope you guys all enjoyed this video here today. Presumably, over the course of the next couple of days, they're going to put out a roadmap, maybe some actual trailers and teasers and things like that, and maybe we'll see what's going to happen to the COD franchise. You know, I've said time and time again, it's like we have this front row seat to the train wreck that is Call of Duty right now. It's been really interesting, except lately it hasn't. Lately it's been more sad than anything, because the game's in the toilet. They're supposedly trying to fix aspects of it, but they're not really talking about it, and just like, it's a barren wasteland. You know, player numbers keep going down, and interest in the series seems to be going down as well, and you would think there'd be something to like hype things up. You know, if I'm Activision, I'm thinking Season 3 needs to be the same as the launch of a new game. You know, the same way they hype up Black Ops 6, Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2 before that, and all the games, like the same way they hype up a brand new release, you would think that's what they'd be doing with Verdansk in Season 3 here, given the state of the franchise, but they're not doing that. So if more information comes out, I of course will make a video and let you guys know what's going on, but for right now, that's it for this video here today. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.